If you've seen any of my videos, you know I'm a classic zombies fan, with Black Ops 3 at the top of my COD Zombies tier list. It's the perfect blend of wacky, off-the-wall, fun gameplay loop, interesting Easter eggs, high community engagement, massive popularity, fun leveling grind, and so much more. I could go on and on for hours, and I already have in multiple videos, but I'm not going to do that today. Today, I want to talk about where my love for zombies really started, with the original Call of Duty Black Ops, the start of the zany era of zombies. Now, if we go all the way back to the beginning, I started playing zombies around when Shino Numa released for World at War. I played endless hours of split-screen Noct and Derice with my brother-in-law on his Xbox 360, and I played a lot of Shino Numa offline. I pretty much entirely avoided Verrückt because it was too scary as a kid. Don't worry though, I eventually came around to it, and it's easily in my top 5 nowadays, no question. World at War kicked off my addiction to the mode, but Black Ops really set in stone that this was going to become my favorite franchise of all time and shape the style of game I'd learned to love for years and years to come. Now, in case you aren't familiar, Black Ops 1, or just plain old Black Ops, was where things really started to get rolling for our dedicated crew when it came to proper story development and fleshed out Easter eggs. Now known as the Ultimus crew, Richtofen, Takeo, Nikolai, and Dempsey became our 4 playable characters through a majority of the zombie storyline all the way through Black Ops 4, and even now returning most recently as fan favorites in a reboot style in Black Ops 7. And while you can technically say that they first appeared in Shino Numa back in World at War, that's where the story truly begins, I'd like to shift this focus to more when Treyarch really knew what they had on their hands. When zombies went from silly bonus mode that we threw in there as an Easter egg for beating the main game, to full-fledged third mainline franchise staple mode, which features entire Easter eggs hidden inside itself. Black Ops 1 featured 6 mainline maps, 2 launch maps with Kino der Toten and 5, and 4 DLC maps with Ascension, Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, and Moon. It also featured remakes of the original World at War maps, but those are a topic for a different time. And the beauty of this game, and what made it stand out so much from World at War, was these maps. They started out the silly zombies era that we now know and love, playing as John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon while zombies break into the Pentagon and you have to fight off an evil mad scientist who wants to steal your guns. Or playing as 4 classic horror and thriller movie actors on a movie set gone wrong in the frozen tundra, while a zombified director George Romero chases you with a weaponized box light, baby zombies and monkeys stealing your power-ups while you fight through an abandoned temple on Mars and Shangri-La, or fighting off space monkeys in Ascension at the site of a rocket launch. Or, the craziest of them all, going to Area 51, killing astronaut zombies on the moon, defending lunar bases from hordes of space zombies and giant excavators, while you work to blow up the Earth. It really doesn't get much wackier than that, and that's what made me fall in love with Call of Duty Zombies. That silliness that Jimmy Zielinski and Jason Blundell cooked up with an insanely talented team of mappers and writers that somehow managed to turn into giant robots, fog rolling in, escaping Alcatraz, giant space squids in a fictionalized Chicago, zombie spiders in a Japanese temple, dragon fights in Stalingrad, and multiverse hopping through time and space in Revelations. Black Ops 1 set the tone for what the mode and the original golden era of zombies made so great. Creative risks in one of gaming's biggest and most historied franchises so that a dedicated fanbase could enjoy a goofy, wave-based survival mode a little bit more with every new iteration. A bit of that heart and soul was lost when Jason Blundell left and the game began to get Warzone-ified, with Cold War bringing the game back down to earth, so to speak. Because before Black Ops 1, the zombie maps that were in World at War were pretty grounded, pretty simple. You had your fair share of abandoned Nazi research facility, abandoned Nazi mental hospital, abandoned Nazi fighting grounds, or abandoned Japanese compound in the forest. And to be fair, what it says on the tin is what you get. Black Ops Cold War is a bunch of Cold War rehashes of exactly that. It dropped us down into more generic secret bunkers, labs, military bases, testing facilities, and your classic shooting game basic design tropes. Black Ops 6 got a little bit more daring, but mostly stayed grounded and didn't dare much to embrace the wackiness of zombies that made it what it was, keeping us locked down to a few main locations around a moderately sized town overrun by zombies and the surrounding areas of said town for every single map, because it was reusing the assets from a Warzone map. And before anyone claims I'm trying to do revisionist history here, Zombies has always been based on other campaign and multiplayer assets around the Call of Duty franchise. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that pretty much every map is built out of other maps that were already made, because the Zombies budget was typically pretty low and they had to work with what they had. But it was fairly lazy to just say, hey, you're going to go in 4 of the same locations all next to each other inside the newest Warzone map, Avalon, which was scrapped and shelved until Black Ops 7, because they had already used so much of it in Black Ops 6, it didn't make sense to release it anymore. But I digress. I have my own field of complaints about Black Ops 6, 6, this video is about Black Ops 1, a game that ultimately decided to break away from that typical grounded, reused campaign assets version of the game and turn into something a little bit wackier and a little bit more fun and daring. It took those same campaign and multiplayer assets, but it put a fun twist on them. And Black Ops 7 truly has had a return to that form, bringing back space and time travel, silly elite enemies, robots gone berserk, giant robots fighting Nordic beasts, dragon fights and volcanic eruptions, nuclear wasteland, space aliens and floating worms. It all sounds crazy, but crazy is what made zombies zombies. And it's what made me fall in love with the mode all the way back in Black Ops 1. And ultimately the reason why I think Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 3 are the greatest 3-game series in the entire franchise. Black Ops 1 started to explore the storyline behind our 4 main characters and started to really flesh out what was going on around us, Group 935, Element 115, and the experiments that were happening around us that were to this point previously unknown. We didn't know why zombies existed, we didn't know what was going on with them, but we were starting to learn. Black Ops 2 took it a step further and expanded on that with a new set of characters, intrinsically tied to our original main 4 crew, ultimately bringing them all back together in the final map of the game, Origins. And Black Ops 3 expanded on that by taking the younger version of our characters that were featured in Black Ops 2's Origins and gave them their own unique storyline that we then followed through the wackiest maps in all of Call of Duty Zombies history, throughout arguably the greatest run of zombies maps of all time. Black Ops 1 kicked that off. It gave us that original story, and it gave us a reason to care about these characters and every map to come after. And while there's still so much more to say about the game design or the writing of the original iterations of the mode, I did want to express my appreciation for what made the mode great, what brought such an amazing community to be what it is today, even if only some small glimpses of it can still be seen in the modern iterations of the mode. What Call of Duty game brought you into the zombies fold? Which iteration was your favorite? Let me know. And if you like these kinds of retrospectives and commentaries, drop me a comment or a like, and let me know if I should do more of these. That's all I got for now. I'll see you in the next one.